Change takes time, growth takes work, but showing up every day is progress.
This is the 365 Proof Podcast, where we share real stories, honest conversations, and practical insight from mental health experts, addiction specialists, and people living the message.
If you're looking for guidance, inspiration, or real insight into recovery and purpose, you're in the right place.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week and episode of the 365 Proof Podcast by Defining Wellness. I'm your host, Daniel Phyfer.
I'm your co-host, Courtney Milan.
And we are super excited to have Tim Risler in the building. He is no stranger to this campus and these people that work here. We have known Tim for quite a long time, and he has been an integral part of our community here in Jackson. Tim is the founder and director of Equine Healing Solutions based here in Jackson, Mississippi. He's got over 3 decades of experience with substance abuse and mental health, and he's got quite the story that we're really looking forward to hearing. His approach is more experiential, and by that I mean he integrates psychotherapy with equine-assisted work as well as hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming. So I did read a couple of those words, but I think I had it for the most part. No, but Tim, really glad you're here, man. Thanks for coming.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah. So Tim's journey, again, started over 3 decades ago, and I've known Tim for quite a while. He's been a family friend as well. He knew about me before I knew about him. We'll just say that.
I certainly did.
And you know, Courtney, I know y'all have known each other for how long at this point?
2005?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, 2005.
So Tim's work is special. Tim, not to mention, you know, works very closely with us here at DW and runs our equine program. And so I'm excited to get into all that, but I really like to start with kind of the origin story of Tim Risler and how in the world you got to Mississippi and where it all started in Florida. Everything. So, you know, with whatever your comfort level is, Tim, let's get to it.
Well, thank you. I was just really fascinated. It really started back in St. Louis, Missouri. And I grew up around having a mother that was in the mental health field and also an uncle. And so that was sitting at the dinner table and listening to the different jargon and talk. It was just felt natural to kind of go into this field. But what fascinated me with substance abuse was really the altering of consciousness. And the plight for me was to look at, is it an innate or is it learned or is it both? And as I started reading through all this, it was actually both. So I was just fascinated with how come we want to alter our consciousness and what does that do, even from a young child being twirled, you know, whirled around, and you have children and what do they ask for? Do it again.
Yep.
Right.
More.
You know, give me more. And they're dizzy. Now I can't ride a teacup or any of those types of amusement rides.
Right.
But that led me, you know, into just really delving into the social work aspect of it and looking at the clinical aspect. I had really good teachers. Worked with a guy named Dr. David Ohms, and he was an older gentleman. And back in 1958, he was one of the founding individuals that pressed the AMA to make it a disease.
Wow. Amazing.
It's showing my age right there. Huh?
That's all right.
So it just progressed, and I worked for a place called Carpenter Healthcare, which was a Fortune 200 company at that time.
Wow.
So that was pretty neat. And then wound up in Naples, Florida, and worked there at the David Lawrence Center as a clinician on the chemical dependency unit. I was their team trainer. They had probably around 500 employees.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so I did their team training and did their CPI training. It was just what we do in crisis,
Mhm.
crisis stabilization.
Right.
And from there, I'm here in Mississippi.
I bet you were a great teacher.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
I can
teaching.
see you doing the CPI, make it interesting and
Yeah, how do you make de-escalation fun, right?
right.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Well, I've seen you talk with some of our clinicians too, and you can tell there's years of experience training clinical staff.
Yeah, I've
At
been
that
around a little while,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
which has been actually I've had really wonderful teachers. It was neat when I was at Carpenter Healthcare. Every group was mic'd, it was videotaped, and so it was for our training purposes. And I'd come back into the tech office or where the Dr. Ohms or whoever was there, my superiors, and they would ask me, "So, Tim, how come you asked that question in group?" And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. What question? The question that you talked about yourself." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I was trying to get street cred. That's what I was doing. I was trying to get street cred.
Of course.
I was trying to let them know I'm 20, something years old, and these
Right.
individuals are older. So I'm thinking, I got to let them know that I know what I know."
Mhm.
Right.
And it very quickly did I learn that that was not the thing to do. It was really ego-based, and
Of course.
they knock you down pretty quick, and you kind of figure out what the questions in order to get the response that you want in treatment.
Mm. That's interesting. And that's been a common theme with every guest we've had. They've talked about teachers and
Yes.
people before them. I mean, every single guest we've had has had experiences where their career or their life has been shaped by some sort of guidance from somebody else, in this industry, I should
That-
say.
I'm very, very blessed to have those people in my life in order to pull me up on the carpet and really make me take a look at what I was doing.
Right. So you get to Mississippi, and then is Copac what's next? I mean,
Well, yes, met my wife on a horse ride,
perfect.
and I thought, wow, this would be pretty good. I mean, maybe we can do some business, or actually, she was already doing a writing program for children, and was very fascinated in why. She goes, "Why don't you come on up and help?" And I said, "Sure, I'll come on up." And I saw the difference between when the kids got off the van and by the time they left.
Mm,
You had kids who would not even come into the barn because of the smell.
right.
Oh, wow.
And then now they get off the van and they go, "Where's my horse?" We had
Right.
some kids
That's
write their
crazy.
name on the horse.
Yeah.
So no other kids could get it.
Wow.
It was just fascinating watching the transformation.
Yeah.
And so from there, I went back and we corresponded for over a year. And then finally I moved up and I started at Copac
Mhm.
as a clinician on the men's unit.
Right.
And Courtney, I worked with your husband. He was the nurse practitioner at that time.
Yeah. Well, he was probably director of nursing then.
Was he the
I think-
DON?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of
really
fun being in
was.
staffing. I mean, it was real family atmosphere.
well, I just coming in to the recovery world later and post Copac, it's always so interesting for me to look at some of my mentors and some of the leaders in our community, and then imagine all of y'all in a staff meeting
Right.
together.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a lot of really good minds and good people. So it's awesome.
I've never laughed so hard. I mean, we've had Patsy Ferguson
Right.
at one point. That was the clinical director. Andy Coffin was
Yeah.
another guy that did did all the ropes courses, and I mean it was just really a fun time.
And how long were you? Tell me, did you move into running the equine program for
Well,
Copac, or?
Well, yes, we did, and we were actually Copac's equine program for 10 years.
Right.
Wow.
Until they were bought.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So yeah.
Wow. And what did the equine program look like back then here? Like when it started, was it out here on campus?
No, it wasn't. It was at our facility.
Yeah.
Actually, having them come out, it was like pulling teeth at first.
Mm-hmm.
But once they came out, this is what's so hard about doing equine and talking to people about it, because it's hard to wrap your head around exactly what happens. And finally, we had Dr. Who owned
Gordon. Dr.
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Dr. Gordon
And Dr. Hughes.
and Dr. Hughes.
Mhm.
Dr. Hughes came out with his granddaughter.
Mhm.
And once he came out and saw we did a demonstration, he was like, "Yeah,
We
we're
have to
doing
do
this."
Yeah.
And then it became the highlight.
And it was
Of the
it was
patient's
wonderful. Now
day.
we did it a little differently. They came out 4 times, so it was like an intensive.
Yeah.
So they came out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for 3-hour sessions.
Wow.
And by the time Monday and Tuesday came, Wednesday, stuff hit the fan here.
Yeah.
And it was just because things were coming out,
Right.
and then they would go back Thursday and Friday, and it was wonderful for the milieu.
Mm-hmm.
It helped people, be aware of what was going on with their surroundings, which a lot of people don't,
Absolutely.
in their early recovery.
And not to mention, you're getting people off of campus.
Right.
There's a factor there as well where they're like, first off, you pull into Tim's place, for the record, for anybody who's listening, it's in Flora, and it's very similar to DW. You pull in and you can feel this feeling that you
It's
can't
spiritual.
really describe. Yeah. And so my first experience going out there, and we'll get into some of the misconceptions that I had, or really no conceptions, and just lack of education around what equine therapy was. I pulled in and I was like, yeah, like I was telling y'all, this seems cool, but that was about it. And like I said, cool does not scratch the surface. And by the time I left, I had cried more tears in about 3 hours than I had in years. And the horse's ability through Tim and Michelle's guidance to unlock that is not something you can really put into words. It's really not.
It was really neat seeing you go through that, because you were like, "Is this happening?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I mean, I can remember, we did an exercise where we needed to get the horse from point A to point B,
Mhm.
and I started to try to control the horse, and that wasn't going to work. And then I think Tim asked me, in Tim's way of doing things, you have to experience it to really understand it. But I mean, he asked me like a 4-word question, like, where are you doing this in other areas of your life, man? And then it's like,
Wow.
and at that time, us in recovery, when we run the show, things don't go too well. But it was just an incredible experience, and for our clients that get to experience it now, I'm just grateful for them to be able to do that. There's no doubt. But there had to be, you're EGALA certified.
Yes.
There was a training portion before.
Yeah, well, we started on the front end of EGALA, in the inception. You had a guy named Greg Kirsten, who was the horse side. He was the co-founder, and a lady named Lynn Thomas.
Okay.
And and she was a clinician, and they got together and they formed EGALA and the framework for it.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's a team approach. Everything is on the ground. Back then, there was one writing exercise that you would do. But other than that, everything was on the ground.
Yeah, I think they initially think they're going to ride the horses
Yes.
the whole time.
Oh, we get that question all the time.
Yeah. Well, even though they're still out there, and we go, everything's on the ground, so we're going to ride them.
Right. They're like, right. They're not going to fly, but like we can ride on them on the ground, right?
Yeah, and we have to remind them also, to when our first exercise, we always start with observation, because the horses are seeing you maybe for the first time, or they saw you last week, but let's get reacquainted.
Right.
For sure. With your experiences, you've seen a lot of traditional talk therapy and, some of the modalities that are commonly used across the industry at all levels of care. I can tell your fascination, right? You're always filling me with knowledge about things I don't know about in regard to alternative, forms of healing or whatever the case may be. And you talked about your experience with your mother and your uncle and the jargon and things like that. When were you like, yeah, all this stuff is great, but what about this stuff that you could maybe add on? When did you realize that some of this these experiential modalities were kind of where you're...
I started getting stuck in my sessions, and it was language. It really was language for me. So language it was the key on how to say what you say. And half the time, for instance, I would have a client and I'd ask them about love, and they would tell me about love lost. And I would say, well, tell me about trust. And they would say, and they'd start telling me about mistrust. So I started really looking at how we actually talk to ourselves. And usually it's in the negative.
Always.
And it's right. It's usually so, and we don't even notice it. And that's what really fascinated me in sessions, is that how individuals talk to themselves, and then how I was talking to them. And it was also in the negative. So I had to really switch and take a look at how I speak to myself. And then in terms now, because we teach people how to treat us, right?
Right.
And so once you learn that language, then it's game on.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, you're so smart.
Yeah. I mean, that is, that's the truth. And for you to be able to kind of pick up on that and not sit in it and try to look for alternate ways of maybe how to push through that, and also having enough humility to realize that it started here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key.
Yeah.
For sure. That's at least for me, that was the only way that I was going to be effective. And what's nice is, now in sessions, it feels like we're just having a cup of coffee and we're just sitting around talking, and they're talking to someone that they've known forever.
Right.
That makes all the difference.
It really does. Set and setting with chemicals.
Right.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I think even when because you do it as a group, right? Your sessions but you do individuals as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
You've got people that fly in from all over.
Yes, we do. We have people who come in all over the world.
But in the group session, and speaking from my experience, I was in a group and there was a comfort level that came with that. But at some point it shifted to me and the horse, and everyone else is there. And you're in the, I don't know, is arena the appropriate
It's
term?
the arena. Yeah,
the arena. And everyone's having like an individual session with a horse next to each other. It's an interesting experience. It's like you shift from group to individual in the same environment. Does that make sense at all?
It makes total sense. In fact,
I've never done it. So this is fascinating.
Well, the language is that you were regulating, right? And then all of a sudden you were co-regulating. Just like your kids do.
Exactly.
With you. When they're walking away and they're looking back at you, it's okay. It's okay.
Right. Looking for that kind of reassurance or whatever.
Well, the horse is looking for the reassurance. You're looking for the reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
The horse is looking for a leader. So what they do, horses just mirror their environment. They
Mhm.
mirror us. Their life depends on that
Right.
in the wild. And so they have to co-regulate with each other.
Right.
They
We-
sync up their heart rate, actually, their heart rate with each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Tim, we had a conversation last night, and I know Courtney and I both have so many questions that we could be here for a very long time. But I think, we talked about your experience bringing out clinicians with, a group, and some of kind of the misconceptions. And I think I remember last night when we spoke saying kind of like, yeah, it looks easy. It's supposed to look easy, but it's not. So talk a little bit about for the everyday person who's not a clinician. I want to hear kind of that perspective about some of those misconceptions, but then maybe even for maybe younger therapists or therapists with really no exposure to equine therapy. Talk about some of the misconceptions that come with that, and maybe like a couple of stories where you've seen kind of the light switch in those folks.
Oh, sure. Well, for the most part, group cultivation is the key. And it starts with them stepping off the van, whether they know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how individuals even come to myself and Michelle and introduce themselves. Because more than likely, the way that they just got off of the van is pretty much of how they're going to introduce themselves to the horse. And so I look for those patterns. So I look for shifts. I look for patterns. I look for uniqueness. I look for discrepancies. And then I have to put my own stuff in it, my own maybe biases or what I'm thinking in my head. And that's my own stuff.
Right.
So it's called SPUDS.
Okay.
And the apostrophe S is my stuff.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah. And so having clinicians come out and they really figure out how they act and how they think. And sometimes they're not congruent. And it happens with people who come out because the way that you may perceive yourself, I'm a confident person. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. And then you come out and you start working with the horses. And then here I'm watching a very passive individual, a very timid individual. And it's like, that's interesting because the way that they viewed themselves is not the way they behave.
Right. It's that internal perspective that this stuff just brings out in droves.
Yeah, I mean, it's really comes to the games that we play on ourselves.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
So having clinicians come out, they really start looking at the authenticity. Am I authentic, or am I preaching from the ivory tower?
Right.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Let's use two examples. Let's use somebody who's more of a primary substance abuse type of person. They very clearly struggle with SUD versus somebody who may struggle with grief or trauma. Is there a different way for you to kind of lead that type of session? Is there a difference in what are some similarities and what are some differences?
They're all similar. And the concept here for us is for us to stay out of the story, to stay out of your story. And how we do that, first of all, we don't tell you the names of the horses.
Oh.
Because if you had Kim, and the horse's name's Kim, and you had an ex named Kim or a girlfriend that did you wrong, or where you felt that they did you wrong, then you already have now this
preconceived notion
with the horse.
Mm-hmm.
We don't tell you the breeds because we've had individuals, because we had a thoroughbred, and it's been a lot of learning lessons for us.
Yeah, I bet.
It's because we used to say, yeah, this is a thoroughbred. Well, that's the one I want.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
how come? Well, he's big, he's strong,
Yeah.
he's
Brings up a lot of stuff.
So, right. But if they don't know, people look at, oh, the big horse is the most dominant. Not necessarily.
Right.
Right.
And it's the same thing with people. I mean, just because you can walk into a room, you can feel who's the dominant person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're just kind of going in blind.
Right. And so it's the same. But we're staying out of the story. The person is going ahead and telling their story through their actions and also what they're perceiving the horse is feeling or what they're thinking about.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I remember.
I just hope I answered that question.
No, you did, and again, I'm just fascinated by all this too. And you educate the group beforehand, right? I can remember kind of sitting down and you kind of laying some guidelines, maybe, encouraging the team. I say team, I guess it kind of is a team, but encouraging the group to kind of get rid of their expectations and judgments.
Just keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And, be malleable.
Malleable.
What does that mean? Sorry. Malleable?
Malleable, pliable, like, blowing, just going with the flow.
Got it.
Yeah.
Allowing things to come in and for you to go, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Just roll with it.
Yeah. Just see where it takes you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
This is silly.
No.
I've always heard you shouldn't look a horse in the eye. Is that...
Where did you hear that?
I don't know, with like some urban legend or something. Like you're not supposed to stare at them or make serious eye contact. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
No.
It makes sense that it wouldn't be
Right.
when we're talking about therapy.
Yeah. No, but
No.
there's so many misconceptions.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, there's a lot of individuals that want to wear, sunglasses and things like that. And for lack of better, I like to know where the person is, because that's part of my background in neurolinguistic programming, and to kind of know where a person, how they're accessing different things. So that's why I would really ask them to take off their shades.
Sure.
But also the horses would rather see who you are also.
Right.
right.
I mean, they're like looking into your soul.
Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, Courtney,
I got to do this.
it's what you need to just go with our one of our groups.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, if you really want to experience it, come out without a group.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if you go with a group, make it a group. Like I
you
went
did.
out there with it was Brandon
Yeah, it was,
Henry
yeah,
in his
Dr. Henry's,
RTS
yes.
class.
Okay.
And I was just this random dude. And that was awesome. I was like, I don't know anyone. I mean, I knew Brandon, but I was like,
Yeah.
blind. It was just me. I was like, I may never see these people again. Of
Right.
course, a couple of them became interns at UW. But
He brings RTS, Reformed Theological Seminary, that comes
Okay.
out to learn alternative methods of therapy, as well as experiential therapy.
Okay. Yeah, I need to do that. I want to do that.
So it was a prime time for him to do that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Dr. Henry didn't care. He was like,
yeah, no, he's. I wish I knew him better, but I would imagine he would have been
really
fine with it.
well.
Yeah.
He does rock climbing. He
Yeah.
does a lot of experiential stuff
He,
as well. And it's really, really cool.
He does a lot of stuff with Bill Blair, who lives in
Oh,
Oxford,
yeah.
who I've
Yeah.
known for a very long time, and it's just the coolest dude.
He does men's retreats and
Mhm.
stuff
I've
like
got
that.
I've got another friend named Chris that they've been big mentors for him, and he's a PLPC out in Atlanta. He went to Kennesaw, as part of the collegiate recovery community. So anyway, good people for sure. So when were there doubts at first, like as far as knowing was there like an aha moment or an aha experience without breaking confidentiality where you saw like the levels that this could take somebody to as far as healing goes?
Well, the first and foremost aha moment is when I went through the training. And in fact, I was not here I came up to Mississippi to go through a training and then went back to Naples. From that time forward, my group was never inside.
It's fantastic.
And I was making up different exercises that emulated what we did with the horses.
Huh.
And it was profound.
Right.
And I didn't have horses.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that, and that's a key example of what I asked earlier about other clinicians like this. It's a tool, it's a tool. Them working with you can not only help them in their individual sessions and groups when they get back to campus or wherever they are, private practice, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's an opportunity for them to learn that, maybe I could pull some stuff from this in my own practice.
Well, think about a clinician that has not leaned into some of their fears, and they come out to us, and now they're faced with some of the fears that they've had. Well, how are you going to get your clients to face and lean into their fears when you won't?
Right.
Or when you're not?
Right.
And so what happens is, to the clinician, they stop asking the harder questions. They start moving around the very areas that they're having difficulty with.
That makes so much sense.
Doesn't that make sense?
I mean, in a way, it's you can't give what you don't have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? Like,
well, it is, and I tell people all the time, I love your advice. And I'm like, I'm not in the advice giving business. That's not, if I'm giving advice, I'm not doing my job.
right.
Right. So what I'm doing is modeling. I'm over here modeling. If you're coming for a relationship and things like that, and you're having difficulty, I'm modeling the appropriate behavior.
So one of the byproducts of equine is showing people how they can have a relationship with others and themselves. Right?
Yes. Have to have a relationship with self in order to have a relationship with others.
That's so funny. I'm thinking about my experiences, at least being in treatment. They were, a little more hardcore and just different. I did a lot of mirror work.
Yeah.
I did a lot of mirror work and a lot of behavior contracts with affirmations. And I mean, I had to, I may have mentioned this before in another podcast. I had to walk around with a handheld mirror and give myself 10 affirmations a day in front of 10 different people for a month. And my group, my boys, they held me accountable. And
Well, see, that's the whole part. Affirmations alone fall a little short.
Totally agree.
And the only way that you're ever going to get some self-worth and accountability is by doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, they found that. And then, what the next part was that you have to receive 10 compliments a day from 10 different people. Ooh. And you can't respond.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it was
good treatment.
It was heavy, but man, I needed it so bad.
Yeah.
And I think that, equine, and I think that's why I got so emotional when I went out there, is because like it pulls all that out of you in such a different way and quickly, So thinking about that, what are there any like concerns for you? Are there a number of sessions that you recommend for somebody depending on their situation? Because I'm sure it's a case by case basis.
It's all case by case basis,
Okay.
and I will tell you, almost 100% of the time, what the person says that they're going to work on, that's not what comes up.
They come in with an initial goal.
Yeah.
And then it goes completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that other direction it goes probably leads to the same road at some point.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's people come a lot of times to treatment and also to therapy. They already know what they're going to say,
Oh yeah.
and they already know what they're going to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the goal for me is for the client to teach me about them. And I believe we have three selves. We have the public self, we have the private self, and we have the secret self.
Mm.
And it's which one are you going to present to me? And it hopefully through our conversations that you can let me in on the secret self, the things that normally you're going to take to your grave. And you have friends. Yeah, I have friends that know some of my secret selves. And let me tell you, I'm loyal to that person because
No
they
question.
got the goods on me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, prime example for me is, I was in Arizona a few days ago
Mm-hmm.
with my best friend from treatment for my core group, and I'm still in the group text from 8 years later. Everyone in our core group is sober and alive.
awesome.
More importantly, we're all alive.
God, that's
And
great.
some others that were with us in treatment that weren't in our core group were not so lucky. But that secret self is what keeps people like us sick. And you can lead that back to the principles of AA,
Right.
and I mean, you name it. But that breaking into that secret self is, like you said, is ultimately what is required for real change, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly, and I'm just happy to get sometimes to the private self,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe at one point they'll start allowing others to see them for who they are.
Right. And so for our clients here, you do our PHP group. We bring PHP out, and
Yes.
then we also, and that's every
Other week,
other week, correct? Okay. And then we bring our veterans out every Tuesday.
every Monday.
It's Monday?
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, every Monday, they come from 1 to 4, and I come back the next day and process with them.
Are there any differences that you see treating the veteran population with the not service member or veteran population?
The way that they interact with each other, they already have a brotherhood.
Mm.
There's a lot of jargon
Yeah.
that they use, and I tell them, "Forgive me, I don't know it."
Right.
I'm not in the military, but I've
Mhm.
had family members. My father was in the military, but when they use jargon, I ask them, "Okay, what is that?"
Yeah. You're
You
learning
know.
a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the real difference is the trauma, the type of trauma that they've had to endure
Mm-hmm.
is different.
Yeah.
I think that's what really separates them.
Yeah, that complex PTSD is a little different, I would imagine.
It's a lot different,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of different physical things that are also. You may have somebody who may be compromised physically,
Mm-hmm.
and also
From trauma.
yeah. I mean, I had my phone go off, and the guy hit the deck.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's like, and I apologize,
Yeah.
but it's definitely different.
Mm.
Now, I will say, as they walk into the arena, you see the herd, and the herd responds differently to each and every group. In fact, you can be in the arena, go down, take a break, and come back up, and you have a different mindset.
Mm.
And the herd will even know that.
Right.
Wow.
Mm.
Can you ever fool a horse?
Maybe with a
I
treat.
think you can hide things from them, but they're, I mean, I don't necessarily think you can fool them, but they know that something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Even though you're coming in with an agenda.
Well, if you have an agenda that
they're going to know it.
They're going to know that it's at the very beginning. You wonder. There's a book out there, and I can't remember the something about fish. That's the title of it. But the guy explains that he never goes to an animal and touches the animal unless the animal touches him first. And he said the animal always knows whether if you're here for them or you're here for you.
Wow. I believe that.
Me too.
And I was like, and I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, I see a puppy and PetSmart or whatever, and I want to, reach, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
And that was about me. It
Right.
wasn't about the
Yeah.
dog.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
And I remember when we finally made the decision to bring you on to run our equine program, which took a little longer than I would have liked, that's for sure. You were real big on that group. Like, you run a group today, don't you?
No, I ran a group yesterday.
But you come in and do a group on campus for a follow-up group.
Yes,
correct?
that's Tuesday.
Okay.
That was two. They come out Monday. The veterans come out Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I come back out here on Tuesday, and then I have Wednesday the PHP, and then I go back with them on Thursday morning.
Okay. Talk about that, because that was a big thing for you. I can remember specifically. You were like, dude, like, yes, I'm so happy with the changes. I want to team up with y'all, and I was obviously very excited about it. But I remember you were real big on that follow-up group, I guess is what I'll call it for now.
Well, yeah, sometimes you just don't have enough. There's so much that's been unsaid.
Mm-hmm.
And what's nice about having a follow-up group is that I can let it sit.
Yeah.
And have a person marinate a little bit about what they observed, what went on with them, where the horses were in relation to what they were doing. And coming back the following day, I'm able to have them just sleep on it.
Yeah.
And kind of think about, wow, okay, that's what that meant.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Process group.
Because
Reflect,
this stuff hits you later anyway.
Of
Mhm.
course.
And sometimes I don't have that, that opportunity. So, but we're processing through the whole entire group.
Right.
So when things come up, that's when we're talking about it. So we are processing it, but there are things that just hit you later.
Yeah. They still hit me, and I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. Okay.
I know the therapists love when I see you on Thursdays when I pop in, and they're always glad Tim's there.
Oh, that's nice.
Kimball, she's like, he's the greatest. I went, 100%. He is.
That's awesome.
She's learning so much
well,
from
that's
you.
Good. Well, I've learned from them as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think talking about people in treatment, because I know you also do stuff with the McCoy House,
Yep.
Palmetto,
Yep.
and
Red
treatment
Hill.
centers, Red Hill, which is good. But talk about the difference in that and intensive, because I know I've had some people come see you that, what does an intensive session look like?
Intensive session looks like that they may be with us for three days,
Mm-hmm.
but those sessions last 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it's 6 hours a day, sometimes longer, depending. And, they go out and go back to their hotel. And also, if anybody who is coming out of town and doing this type of work can unearth some different things. So,
Mhm.
There's a company out of Orlando that Sober Companion.
Oh, yeah.
And so if we need be, we absolutely have them
Right.
on board as well. And we also have, if people want to play golf, we have 3 golf courses that they can go to. And We also have Providence Hill,
Very familiar.
and they also will, if you want to go out and fish, or if you want to do their shooting range, clay shoot,
Oh yeah.
and do all that kind of stuff. They'll have a member come out and meet you, and so you're not alone.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you've more recently, at least from what I know, been doing some stuff with athletes.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk
Yeah,
about that.
We've worked with a lot of different athletes from the NFL, NHL.
Mm-hmm.
We work with a lot of MMA fighters,
Yeah.
which has been fascinating.
Well, the guy who owns Providence now is a
He's an MMA fighter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, he's an MMA. He's a jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Brazilian.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay, so they're coming like they need therapy?
Well, it's not. Well, some do.
I mean,
Some
everybody
do.
does.
You know, and it's interesting because we market ourselves even in doing substance abuse disorder. My job is to get you where you want to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my goal, and we're going to turn every stone that we possibly can. Otherwise, I have not done my job. So working with some of these individuals, they may or may not have substance abuse, but what we do have is we have blind spots.
Okay.
And we have blind spots in which stops us from becoming better. And a lot of times it's self-limiting beliefs. So an individual may not even know how come they can't make it to the next level. So it could be the way they view the team, the way they view their coach at home. So,
and they don't know it's probably it's them. We're
yeah,
our own roadblock, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our own self-limiting beliefs.
Right.
You know, like for instance, I had an individual that plays on a team sport, and he is one of the best players on the team, and he is not getting time on the field.
Interesting.
And it's like, you know, I'm one of the best people on the field, and I'm not being played. And my question is, what's your relationship with the coach?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because inevitably, the coach is the ghost person on the field or on the ice or
Right.
on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ghost person that they are teaching you the techniques. And so when it comes down to the pressure, when you're under pressure, are you going to follow what the coach has said and using your natural ability to do it?
Right.
And so he goes, well, my relationship's not that good. And I said, well, that's why you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you show up as a teammate? You know, I mean, all those things.
Right. You know,
Let's start turning some stones.
well, that's with any type of team thing you have. I mean, we also work with first responders.
I was going to bring that up.
You know, and, you know, working with first responders, you know, you can have a person who is unbelievably talented at fighting fires and doing the first responder stuff, but yet the team doesn't trust them, even though they are probably doing perfectly, but they're not aware of what their team members are doing. They're not connected with them. And there's different facets of the trust level that goes on. So I might fight fires with you, but I don't really trust you with my wallet, and I don't trust you with my wife.
Right.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So there's different levels and facets of how we gain that trust. And working through the horses kind of reveals those different things and allows individuals to kind of speak their mind.
Fascinating.
Hey, this is a question.
Okay.
What about people that are scared of animals? Or maybe not scared of animals, maybe they have trauma related to animals. I know that sounds crazy, but maybe they got bit by a dog and they're like, I don't do dogs, or whatever the case may be. I mean, horses are beasts. They're
Yeah.
literally wild beasts. So how do you?
Huge, majestic,
Yeah.
Right.
powerful.
I mean, they're intimidating on some
very,
level.
yes.
You know, and obviously you have to build the trust with the horse at some point when the time is appropriate. But what about people that come in? And that's where probably you and Michelle's instinct and paying attention about when they get off the van.
Well,
And,
yeah. It's looking also at an individual who is like, I don't.
yeah.
I had. Well, we've had a group come out, and we've had just a technician talk about a friend of theirs that knew a friend that had an accident with a horse. Well, part of the group heard that, and they're like, well, I'm not going up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you asking me to go up there? I'm not going up there.
Right.
And so this is almost fourth person
Mm.
that they're hearing it from.
Right.
And so that is something I had to address. It's like, so you heard something from another person who wasn't there, who is telling you a story, which could be true or not true, and you are making a decision off of that.
Mm.
So it became a deeper
Yeah.
level of what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the times asking clients, are there things that you believed, let's say last month, that you don't believe now? And how come?
Yeah.
And it's just interesting that we fear the things that we don't understand,
Absolutely.
Always.
right?
Absolutely.
And the more that you understand it, and that's what I'm asking individuals to do, and I'm asking clinicians to do, I'm asking clients to do, is to lean in to these fears. But you have somebody with you. That's the other thing. So if somebody's totally afraid of, let's say, horses, then we can observe them from afar
Yeah.
and look at the behaviors and ask what they're doing and tell me about this horse. Well, this horse is doing this. And a lot of times they're projecting their own,
Oh, yeah.
insecurities or fears or, onto the herd.
Right.
And so I get to learn a lot more about that individual. And let's say they didn't even go into the arena, but we observed them. And
Mm.
next time maybe we're in the arena
Uh-huh.
and we still haven't touched them.
And that's where the individualized piece comes in. You can gradually get to where.
We had
They
a
are.
veteran do that.
Mm.
And by the time he left, he was like, I'm walking down a horse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lead a horse, or I'm gonna do this with a horse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna brush a horse and groom them.
Right.
It was just fascinating. It's like it's interesting because he gravitated to Michelle much more than me. And so Michelle was giving some pushback. So it's like, okay, so this is your second time out here. So what are you going to do
Yeah.
on your third?
Right.
Oh, I know I think I'll touch him. I'll do something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've watched that dynamic between you and Michelle also. And were there times, y'all had to there was probably some sort of roadblocks. Y'all probably, how long did it take y'all to get to a place where y'all were synced up or understood that?
We're still sinking.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
got to be a challenge.
We're still sinking. In fact, afterwards, our processing, is did you see the look I gave you? Did you see this? Did you say, yeah. Did you see what I was doing? No. Did you see this? No. And it's like, so we become better
Yeah.
Right.
at doing that. So she will say, like, look, pay attention to me, stop moving away from me.
Yeah.
And then because I need to talk to you. So, and I said, you're right. I said,
I imagine that helps in your personal relationship as well.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
our communication.
Has to be.
We start asking for what we want and need. Half the time in relationships, we're asking for what we don't want.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I mean,
cool.
Yeah, just
Very cool.
just really think about when you are talking about just I want to stop drinking. I want to stop using. I can't do this anymore. I just want to stop.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Instead of I want to be sober.
Right.
I want to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the language stuff we were talking about before we
Right.
started.
Yeah, it's
right.
it's you have young kids, and it's like you want them to stay out of the street because it's very busy,
Right.
and it's like kids don't go into the street. Where are your kids? In the street.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes naked. but-
Because and so the language is I want you to play in our yard only.
Mhm.
I want you to stay on the grass. There's no mistake about what it is that I'm asking you.
Right.
Very cool.
That's a good way to reframe it, because I know from telling my 3-year-old boy he can't do something, he's going to try to push the limit
That's
because
right.
he's just like his daddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't fall far.
It does not. I mean, my dad, and it just kind of keeps going this way.
right.
Um,
Tim, what is a myth about equine that drives you crazy? If there is one.
gotta be.
Well, the myth that I get mostly is how can a horse
Mm-hmm.
help me
Right.
in my relationships or my life
Mm-hmm.
or my
Sense.
recovery? How does that even?
I used to ask myself that question.
How does it even cross paths?
Mhm.
Right.
Right. But thank God, horses are a wonderful role model.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, they're a perfect role model for self-care.
Say so.
And when they are teaching us boundaries, I watch individuals come in. The first thing they want to do is put hands on, and you just rub it, and the horse walks away.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, how could all the horses walked away?" And I said, "Well, how would you like somebody knocking on your door, walking into your house? You don't know them, but now they're putting their hands all over your face and rubbing
Yeah.
your ears and saying, 'Hey, how you doing?'"
Right.
It's like that wouldn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
Because the horse knows they're just about them.
That's right. You're
Yeah,
here
it's-
for you.
It's
You're
the
not
puppy
here-
I'm learning.
analogy. It's the puppy analogy from earlier in PetSmart. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, buddy, and you
Right.
pick it up, and imagine if like a random dude on the street just came and picked you up and patted you on the back. I mean, it's like,
I'd be calling the cops.
wait a second, brother.
And I don't know if it's a human condition, but I know that when an individual gets success in something, let's do it again.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it again.
Oh yeah.
And we'll keep doing it
Mm-hmm.
instead of going, okay, that was good.
Yeah. Well, I have one more question. I think this is something I ask most people who are in our space, and I'm going to try to do it every episode from here on out. How do you take care of yourself? Because I am very much aware of having an occupation or living a life where you are mostly serving others. I mean, what does self-care look like for you, Tim?
That's
Good
awesome.
question.
That's a great question.
I think that the professionals that listen to this podcast, obviously we want the listeners of all types. We want people that are struggling, people that are not struggling, anybody. But I think for the professionals in our space, that is a lost thing, and we know where it can lead, and we see it every year. We hear stories.
I hear clinicians like, I see 60 clients, this month. I'm fine.
Right. Are you?
Right.
Yeah,
Really?
Right. Well, part of that is, thank God I live on some acreage.
Acreage would be one way to call it, Tim. That
And-
place is
Right.
incredible.
And the vibe there is just a very spiritual, very neat place to be. So I can walk my dogs. I'm also pretty heavy in sports.
Yeah.
So
Don't. He's an incredible racquetball player.
Wow.
Like you know how I am about my tennis. Like he's on
Yeah.
another level of
Wow.
racquetball.
I don't know
So-
about that.
So anyway,
but
and you used to cycle a lot from.
I
I know.
yeah, but you used to cycle with your father,
Oh yeah,
and you know how he is with his
I do.
cycling.
I sure do. Has to happen.
Well, there's a point. It's almost like telling a runner you can't run.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the worst things that you can tell.
Mm.
And I used to ride Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And the Tuesdays we would do a 40 to 60 mile ride. Thursdays same, and then we'd do a century.
Right.
Good grief.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
we've had a lot of individuals perish off the roads because of that.
Yeah. I mean, my dad stays on the gravel now.
He does gravel, and I
Mhm.
do mountain.
Yeah.
So keeping myself, I racquetball. I don't think about anything but that little ball,
Yeah.
and I have to be focused on that
Mhm.
because it moves. It's one of the fastest games on the planet.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
So I love that, and I meditate. I take time for myself, and also just being with family.
Yeah.
I mean, that means a great deal. And
Mhm.
sometimes me just going up there and just being in the middle of the herd.
Yeah.
It's very interesting when I find myself not knowing what to do. I'm always drawn back to nature,
Yeah.
and I'll walk in the woods, or I'll do just different things like that.
Yeah.
But between that, meditation, hanging out,
Yeah.
relaxing, and just knowing who I am when I'm coming home, or who I am when I'm taking care of my father.
Right.
He's 92.
Right. Mm. That's
Yeah, your
awesome.
aura is just
Yeah.
always been
Well, thank you.
so
That's
peaceful and
sure.
calm and
Well, you've just got a unique perspective on a lot of things. and I
really,
really
for
appreciate
real.
It. Yeah.
Well, I hope I answered, some of the questions, and you gave some clarity to it. But I would tell anybody, we are Equine Healing Solutions at Mount Leopard Ranch
Mm-hmm.
at 509 Mount Leopard Road, and come see us. I mean,
You've got a
do some-
Facebook page as well.
we have a Facebook page. We took our web page down.
Yeah.
In fact, most of our clients find us through other means. They find us through handlers and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't necessarily advertise. In fact, our business has picked up more in Mississippi this last year and a half, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's all word of mouth, but
Yeah.
I would say the majority of our clients are out of state
Right.
or out of the country.
Mm.
That's great, Tim.
Well, I think it's important for me to say you can learn a lot from this conversation, and that's great, but experiencing it is a whole nother ballgame.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
can't wait.
It is.
I agree.
And, if you have any questions or anything about what equine looks like, shoot Tim a message or whatever.
Yeah, well, we do demos too. So there are different times, out of the month that we may have it's a free demo just to let you kind of experience a little bit about what we do, how it kind of works. And what's nice is doing the demo, the person really gets the kind of like, okay, this is the vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the feel that and it's very, very interesting because when we're doing a demo, we're having things come up.
Oh, yeah.
And it even
can
happens
imagine.
it happens in team training too.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Doing corporate team stuff.
Yep.
we have to make darn sure that we're just kind of saying, okay, that was good, Daniel, but come back to me a little bit later and we'll kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because things do come up, and it's when you're in a professional setting, you know how
Oh, yeah.
that can be within a corporation.
For sure. No doubt. You got anything else, Courtney?
No, this was fabulous.
Well, guys, this is
Yeah.
wonderful.
You're the man. We're
I
glad
truly,
you came.
truly appreciate it, and love working with Defining Wellness.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have you. I mean, what you do
Absolutely.
for all of our clients, you know, and for you to be willing to have that separation with our veterans and you know, kind of leaning into that brotherhood that they have with each other, and then also with, you know, all of our other clients is huge. So we really appreciate everything you're doing.
I just think it's awesome that you guys are having veterans here, and to extend that, because I'll tell you, a lot of times they're not treated well,
That's right.
and you guys are treating them well.
That is our goal for sure.
Yeah, and it's noted.
Yeah. It's
Good.
working. It's
Yeah,
working.
it's
And we're really, you know, just kind of getting started, which is the most exciting thing about that. So,
you know, well, good. It's going to get bigger.
yeah, we're going to make it happen for sure.
I love it.
We're going to need some more horses.
I love it.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Tim, really appreciate you coming out, and hope you enjoy the episode. Like, subscribe, all the good things. Tell all your friends, and we will see you next time. Thanks.
Yay.